Ayo, ayo, ayo. How we doing, everybody? Welcome to the Killjoy Jake YouTube channel. It's time to shake, rattle, and roll and talk a little horror, baby. How we doing? How we doing? Let me know down in the chat what horror thing you're the most excited for. And of course, if this is your first time hanging out with us, talking a little horror, talking about things you're excited to be scared by, then make sure to like this video and subscribe. Because we are less than 60,000 subscribers away from 100K, and that's the goal, ladies and gentlemen. I want to have an army of horror fans. How crazy would that? I mean, how cool would that be? 40,000 is crazy, and I'm really thankful for all y'all. But 100,000, you know? We're making it happen. Every single day, we're making it happen. But anyways, it's time to talk horror. We haven't done a live in a little bit, as I see Peyton is pointing out. I've been really focusing on the videos lately, I guess, but it's nice to talk a little horror live, baby. So here we are making it happen. So again, as always, let us know the things you're the most excited for. If it's Terrifier 4, Obsession, that drops in theaters tomorrow. Backrooms, which drops in theaters in 2 weeks, or literally any other movie that is on the way. We have Passenger this month still to look forward to. We have so much good horror to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. My God. And it's really not going to stop all summer. The 2026 is all about the summer releases. Can I be honest? We got some exciting stuff this fall for sure. And I'm sure as the months go along, we're going to learn about more and more stuff. But man, this summer is loaded. We're already started. We've already started basically with some crazy releases. So life is good to be a horror fan. There is certainly a lot to talk about, ladies and gents. RJ Skarenki is saying, I'll be back around 7:45 p.m. I'm going out for a trail walk tonight with my guys. Enjoy that trail walk with all them guys. Have a good time. Peyton is saying it's been a bit, I feel. Peyton, I greatly appreciate you hanging with us. And thank you for being a channel member. Yeah, I'm going to try to do some more streams this week and definitely the last week of the month because I'm taking off from doing videos. I need a little break. It's been pretty crazy. You might have noticed a lot more videos have gone up on the page in the last few weeks than per usual. So the last week of May, I'm just going to be doing streams, not a whole lot of videos, because I want a little break from editing. My God. The Jester is saying, what's up, Jake? How we doing, Jester? Welcome in, welcome in. I take it you're excited for Terrifier 4 with a name like The Jester and a profile picture like Rhea Ripley and Art the Clown. Garb. I take it you're excited for that. Let us know your thoughts on T4, baby. 2027 release date we just got an update on, which is exciting. And it's going to take place on New Year's Eve. So it's going to be like continuous right from where we left off in Terrifier 3. That's awesome. I can't complain about any of that. That's some cool shit. Erica Stabs for Likes is with us. Thank you for being a channel member, Erica. Thank you for being a mod. You fucking rock. And I appreciate you sending me that message earlier about the Marcus plushies. It makes me sad that they're out of stock. But you know what? You can't have everything in this life. Ooh, magnificent logo. How we doing? That logo's magnificent tonight. Yo, sup, Jake? What's up? How we doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for talking a little horror with us. We also got Kelly Stroh-Snyder. Thank you for being a channel member. Saying, hey there, Jake, in chat. Happy hump day. I love it. It's hump day, all right. Middle of the week. And now we're sliding down the hump with the rest of the week. Wednesday is over. Life is good. Being on the downhill is always much more fun than being on the going up, right? Alpha Warlock is saying, just saw Hokum. I wanted to love it, but was underwhelmed. I really liked it. I think it's definitely top 10 of the year. I could see it staying there as well. I will say maybe I wouldn't say this is a disappointing element to Hokum, but in terms of things that maybe didn't necessarily hit as hard as some previous Damian McCarthy features, I don't know, like that there's an end sequence that in a different Damian McCarthy movie, that would be like the part everyone was talking about. But Hokum was, I feel like, a little more balanced. You know, where you go back and you watch something like Oddity or Caveat, and those movies are all about setting up like this big, crazy, creepy ending. You know, set up, big smack in the face at the end. is kind of a very, very, very general way to look at his previous two features. They're slow burns, which means you got to wait for that big punch at the end. Hokum's not really that. Like I've read so many reviews of people who are like, oh, Hokum's another slow burn from Damian McCarthy. No, the fuck it is not. That shit ain't a slow burn at all. It is packed full of scares. Every 5 minutes, something's jumping out at you. And it's a bunch of different things too. It's not just one thing or the other. You think like this whole movie's going to be about like a witch or something. It's how they kind of make it seem from the plot description, the marketing. It's a whole bunch of shit is going on in this crazy hotel. It's awesome. It's a really cool story, and it's just very, very, very Stephen King inspired. It is like it's kind of like you take things from The Shining, from 1408. You jam pack those together in a not secret window. What's the name of the fucking Johnny Depp movie that's based off of a Stephen King story? It's just a lot of, Hokum is a lot of Stephen King stories. Like we're picking different pieces out of different stories from Mr. King and slapping them together, doing it with Damian McCarthy's style all over it. And I think that's fun. I think that's a pretty cool time. So I'll take it. Ben is with us, and we're skipping ahead to Ben because I really want to hit on this. Dude, I did see your super chat, and I'm so terribly sorry. Ben, I meant to schedule this stream for tonight, and it was accidentally yesterday, and I caught it like an hour before. So major apologies. I could not stream yesterday. But I did see your super chat, so I want to spend some time on this. You specifically were excited for Obsession, which comes out tomorrow. And yes, I really liked what you had to say about it. If I'm remembering correctly, you said something along the lines of like you're excited to see a story about a dude who gets punished for manipulating somebody. And I thought that was a really interesting way to word Obsession, because I think going into the film, I kind of had that same thought. But like the reason I think Obsession works, without spoiling it, of course, is I think the character of Bear is somebody who... it has good intent. Like, I really believe he has good intentions, and he goes about it the wrong way. But I really do believe that in his heart of hearts, he was doing what he did everything he did in a way that wasn't so. It's so hard to talk about this, beating around spoilers. But even you've seen it in the trailer. I mean, when he makes the wish, he simply says, "I wish that Nikki Friedman, loved me more than anyone in the world." He doesn't, it's nothing, it really sounds like such an innocent thing, but where Curry Barker takes it is fucking disastrous and insanely chaotic. I'm very grateful I got to see an early screening of this one for those who are like, what? How have you seen the movie already, Jake? What's going on? But dude, it's so good, and I'm really excited for you to see it. But Bear is such a gray character in the sense that I feel like he's a good guy, but he just goes about doing what he's doing in a piss poor way. He doesn't handle everything the best, and I'm really excited for everyone to see it, because I think everyone's going to feel differently about that character in particular. Everyone's talking about Nikki, and that's very well deserved. Oh my god, Indy Navarrete, dude, is so fucking good in this movie. Scream Queen is born. Everyone's going to be talking about her. It's the Mia Goth situation all over again. Remember, like, the 2 years everyone was talking about Mia Goth? It's going to be the same thing with her, I promise. She's going to be in everything for the next couple of years, horror-wise. I would bet all the money on it. All of it. Every last dime. Because we don't have pennies anymore. But yeah, I think I'm just really excited to see everyone's interpretation of this, because Nikki's great. Horror villain, horror icon, whatever you want to say about her. But man, Bear is such an interesting character to break down and talk about. And there's things that you haven't seen in the trailers yet that is so fucking crazy and scary. Oh my god. I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped for everyone to see this movie. It has me so excited. But yes, go see Obsession this weekend. It's horror film of the year. I cannot stress enough how everyone needs to see this movie, because y'all do. I'm telling y'all you need to see it. Ben, I want to thank you for the $20 though. Thank you for the support. And thanks for keeping the lights on here at Killjoy Jake Studios. Collarbone YouTube is saying, yo, what's up, Jake? What up, Collarbone? How we doing? How's that collarbone doing? I hope that's got to be the worst bone to break. I've never like broken a bone outside of like pinky toes or something, but man, a collarbone, that's got to fucking hurt. Ooh. Jester is saying, you're damn right, Jake. Terrifier 4 can't come soon enough, baby. It's sounding like it's going to be fall 2027, which I know there's a distance. There's a big distance between that and now, but it's on the horizon, and I think it's going to be great. I'd rather wait for greatness than get a mediocrity quicker, right? Is that a saying? I don't know. I don't know if that's a saying or not, but I would rather wait. Robbie and the Cats. That sounds like a band name. Sounds like a really sick band name. What's up, Robbie and the Cats? Boom, boom, da, boom, boom, ba, dum, ba, da, bo, da, ba, da. You get the kind of that music. That's what Robbie and the Cats would do. Like some old school, like Stray Cat style, walking bass line kind of thing. I don't know where I'm going with this. How are you? Thanks for being with us. Appreciate ya. Debatable. How we doing? How we doing? Jake, my brother, how are you? I'm flipping fantastic. Top of the world, baby. What sort of New Year's Eve style kills do you think we will get in Terrifier 4? I think something to do with fireworks for sure. You said definitely, but for sure. Yes, 100% some fireworks. You know, the New Year's Eve or maybe 4th of July horror story, I think that immediately comes to mind, revolving around fireworks, is someone holding an M80 for a little too long, right? That's like the immediate, like, oh, that's gonna blow up and fingers are gonna go everywhere. But how can we twist that to make it an Art the Clown kill, you know? Could he, like, I mean, could we do something as simple as like Art the Clown strapping fireworks to somebody and everyone blows up? I wasn't even thinking about fireworks, which is so funny because that is such a big, I guess that is a big part of New Year's. I think when I think of fireworks, I think of 4th of July, but yeah, that's definitely still a part of New Year's, you know? I also could see, and he's kind of already gotten this kill before, but we could do something new with this. A bottle to the face would be really fucking brutal. Don't forget in Terrifier 2, again, we've kind of done that already, but a champagne bottle, you know, it's a little bigger than the beer bottle he was working with in part 2. So could we do some fucked up shit with a big champagne bottle, some glass? Glass is brutal, dude. Push someone onto some bottles or something. I don't know. There's a point being, though, there's a lot of potential with New Year's. I'm still pitching the idea. I want to see Art the Clown, like, go downtown. Like, we filmed all these movies in, like, Long Island, New Jersey area. It would be so cool to get a shot of Art the Clown in New York City. I don't want this to be like a Art Takes Manhattan kind of situation where it's like the whole movie you're waiting for him to be downtown and then it's just the last, like, 5 minutes or something. Because let's be real, that's all they would be able to afford. Shooting in New York City is pricey. That's why they often don't. That's why they just often don't film a whole lot of stuff in New York. But it would be cool to see Art the Clown get a kill in the city. It's always been like it's always been Miles County, small town kind of vibes. So I would love to see Art the Clown push somebody off of a building or something, you know? A lot of potential for some bloody deaths there. Something different for this franchise, too. I feel like someone smashing on the ground. I mean, that's crazy. Well, I would love to see something like that in the series, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Gathering Leaves, thank you for being a channel member. Hello, I am back. I'm so glad that you're back. I'm glad you're with us. Thanks for talking a little horror with us tonight. And I hope you're probably having a lot of trouble gathering leaves as of right now, but in a couple of months, my friend, they're going to be fucking everywhere. So just you wait. You'll have some leaves. A couple of months here. Mike's horror channel is saying, hey, everyone. What's up, Mike? How we doing? Welcome in. You're in the right place if you like horror. DeChico is saying Terrifier 4 should start off with Art as a good guy, then he goes back to his evil ways. Like he's trying to trick everybody. He's like, no, it's like Mars Attacks. He's like, nah, I'm chill now, guys. All that shit in the other movies, don't worry about it. But I'm cool. And then he just immediately rips someone to shreds again. Let's do a Mars Attacks homage in this movie. That would be so funny. Peyton is throwing $5 out there. Peyton, thank you for the support. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Jake, I saw Mortal Kombat 2 and it was fucking amazing. I am seeing Obsession Friday, got my ticket, and I really want to see Hokum. Might wait till streaming. I have not seen Mortal Kombat 2. I have heard nothing but bad reviews, but I'm still gonna watch it probably this weekend. I'm gonna catch up on a few movies that I haven't seen this weekend, so hopefully I'll have some reviews out. I'm probably not going to cover Mortal Kombat 2. That one's just going to be for me. But from what I'm hearing about it, it doesn't sound like I'm going to have a lot to talk about. It's a lot of references to the game, and I just don't review movies like that anymore. I'll be honest, I didn't do a review of Ready or Not 2 because I just didn't have a whole lot to say about it. It's fun because the cast gives some great performances, but outside of that, story-wise, I couldn't tell you anything about Ready or Not 2. The story of that was like, whatever. Hey, we're doing the first movie again, you know? Cool. This is just an excuse to get all of these people in the same movie, I guess, is what Ready or Not 2 was to me. So I just didn't really have a whole lot to say about it. I probably won't have a whole lot to say about Mortal Kombat 2, but I love Mortal Kombat. So I do want to see it, and I want to see it for the kills and the blood and the guts. But from what I'm hearing from reviews, is that's really all there is to it. But hey, there's still some fun to be had with that, I think. Just not a movie I plan on watching more times than that. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I have different feelings about it. We'll see soon. And you're seeing Obsession on Friday. I'm so excited for you to see it because, again, I cannot stress enough. Best movie of the year. Nothing's gonna top it. It's number one. Instant horror classic. And I know I'm overhyping it. I know I'm overhyping. I trust me. I know. But it's that good, dude. It's that good. If it disappoints, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That, to me, is everything I want in a horror film and more. And you really want to see Hokum. Hokum's so good, dude. Hokum's scary as fuck. I had a really good time with it. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 by any means, but I scared the shit out of me. Had a good time with it. Adam Scott in a horror movie? Adam Scott's so good. Adam Scott's so good in everything, man. I'll see anything in theaters if it's got Adam Scott in it. I'm there. Give it to me. But Peyton, I appreciate the 5. Thank you for the support. I hope you enjoy all those movies. Enjoy all the movies. Make it happen. See some good stuff in the theaters, and thank you for supporting the channel. It really does mean quite a bit. Dave Sim is saying, fuck, I knew I was forgetting some tonight. The live stream. Yes, we live, baby. We talking a little horror. I forgot about the live stream. What's up, Big Daddy Jake? What's up, Chad? What's up, Big Daddy Dave? Welcome into the stream. It's time to talk some horror. I love it. It's my favorite time of the day. Talking horror. Austin Allman is with us as well. What's up? What's up? If I missed anybody, I'm so sorry. I'm sporadically going through the chat tonight. YB Coraline is saying, Art the Clown would be so cool in New York City. Imagine him in an elevator and going into the Empire State Building. You know, that would be so silly. That would just be it would be so silly. And Art the Clown is so silly. He's a goofy little guy. I could see him running amok in New York City and having a good time. This is the send-off in a lot of ways to the Terrifier franchise. I don't think it's going to be the last Terrifier movie. You know, everyone says, oh, this is the final chapter. This is going to be it. No, it's not. It's never the final chapter. Come on now. We're going to have more Terrifier movies, but I do think that Terrifier 4 will mark like the end of a certain chapter of this series. The first couple movies, if you will. The first tetralogy. Let's call it that. Because it's not a quadrilogy. Did you guys know that? It's a group of 4 movies is a tetralogy, not a quadrilogy. That's a made-up word. Fun fact. I learned that a few years ago, and I think it's a fun little fun fact. But yeah, I really think we're going to get more Terrifier movies, but I do think that this is going to be the send-off of Damien Leone as a writer-director. I think this is the last one he probably does, and then he's going to probably move on to some other stuff. Maybe he slips into a producer role as Terrifier 5 inevitably gets made, because it will get made. People are like, oh, but they're going to end the story. But dude, they're going to make Terrifier. I promise you, they're going to make a Terrifier 5 at some point. Art the Clown's way too big of he's a huge icon, man. They're gonna do more, no doubt about it. So whatever this ends up being, I think it's gonna be the send off of this era of the series, and we'll do more in the future. Alpha Warlock is saying MK2 was fun, nice fight scene. Second half was a lot better than the first, but nothing great. And that, you know, I gotta admit, you know, I've heard a lot of those reviews from a ton of people. And that's almost a little disappointing to me. I saw all the teasers, the trailers, and I'm just like, man, this looks like it's going to be better than the first one. I'm so excited for this. Like, bring it on. Let's go. And then hearing all these reviews of people who are like, oh, it's just kind of for the fans. It's a lot of references to the games. It's like, what else do you expect from a Mortal Kombat movie? But at the same time, like, I don't know. I guess I kind of got my hopes up about this one. I love Mortal Kombat. I had a pretty fun time with the first one. Again, you know, not a masterpiece by any means. The 2021 movie, but I had a good time with it. I was like, okay, you know, got some good kills. Kano was pretty fucking cool. Hopefully, Johnny Cage, you know, Carl Urban is good in this one. I have not had time to go out and see it. I have been absolutely slammed, but I'm going to see it hopefully tomorrow. Then my goal tomorrow at some point is to get out to the theater. I want to see Obsession again. I got to get a second watch in for that one. And I got to see Mortal Kombat. Sent gold coin for 10 jewels. You got to get some jewels. Nothing like getting jewels. Great stuff. Did anyone ever watch the movie Abigail? Would love a sequel to it, says YB Coraline. I would love an Abigail sequel as well. I thought that movie kicked fucking ass. Sadly, Abigail totally bombed at the box office. No idea why. Well, not no idea. I think that a lot of the Universal Monster movie continuations, whenever these are done, they're either like hits or misses, like almost across the board. The Mummy from Lee Cronin, pretty decent box office pull. Not too bad, not too shabby. But then you look at something like Renfield. Then you look at something like Last Voyage of the Demeter, and it's like, ugh. Invisible Man, though, against all odds, being released right at the start of the pandemic in 2020, made decent money. Crazy to think about. But some of those movies, man, they bomb, and it's crazy. It really sucks. And Abigail, sadly, was one of those, something that just couldn't build enough interest. It's a shame because I think Abigail, truthfully, in terms of later career radio silence movies, that's one of their better movies. I don't know, hot take, I guess, but I like Abigail more than Screams 5 and 6. For me personally, I really enjoyed Abigail. I thought that was awesome. Great use of characters. Maybe a little bit of a weird ending, but some good twists and turns. I don't know. It's just a lot of chaos, a lot of good controlled chaos in that movie that I thought was really well done. Erica Stabs for Likes is throwing 2 out there saying, did you forget to hit the like button? She's throwing a knife emoji out there, guys. So who knows what she's going to do with that thing. You better just like the damn stream. That is if you want to keep all your parts. So go ahead, press the buttons. Because honestly, pressing buttons is really fun. Did you ever go somewhere as a kid and there's a lot of buttons on the wall or something and all you wanted to do was press all those buttons? You can literally do that right now. You can let that inner child inside of you just go nuts and press all the buttons on this page. The subscribe button, the like button, but so help me God, if you press the dislike button, I really won't care. It's still going to help throw us into the algorithm. So do your thing. Press the buttons. Go nuts. Laris Part is saying, hello, Jake. Hello, Laris. Hello, everyone. You lucky fellas have the opportunity to watch Obsession starting tomorrow. What? Here in Greece, its release date is shifted to June 18th. Oh my God, that blows. I'm so sorry, my dude. Well, Laris, do everything you can to avoid spoilers for this one. I promise you, it is worth your time. Go into it blind if you can. If you can wait and not get this one spoiled, oh my God. There are some insane shocks, twists, brutality. There's some insane shit that you just won't like. I was so blown away by multiple parts of this movie, and I won't say what or where, but man, there's so much shit going on in this movie that you're just like, I can't even fucking believe we went there. It's so cool too, because I think it's disarming that it has such a familiar premise, but then it takes that, it pushes it as far as it can possibly go. I also think it answers in a really unique way a question about a wish in the fictional sense, right? You think about what a genie's rules are, when it comes to wishing, especially fans of Aladdin perhaps are familiar with that, and how it really pushes that to an extreme and answers that question in a whole new way, a whole new world, if you will, on a magic carpet ride. What I'm trying to say is I love Aladdin and the sequels are dog water, but go see Obsession. It's so good. See it in theater. Do not miss this in theaters, guys. This is like I said, instant horror classic. We will be talking about this one for years and years and years and years. I'd bet my bottom dollar on it. Brandon the Beldam. I saw an Insta post recently debating whom is the most overrated villain, and I saw a lot of Ghostface and Art answers. I think a lot of that just comes from the fact that these are the two villains that are talked about probably the most, without a doubt. So I can see having that opinion. I personally think both of them are very interesting, and I think that is why they're so unique, and that's why I feel like they're maybe the most popular right now. But I think a lot of that just comes from the fact that we've had a lot of Ghostface, we've had a lot of Art the Clown recently, so people are just kind of maybe getting to the point where we're kind of sick of it. I'm maybe not so much Art the Clown. Ghostface, I'm starting to get a little sick of because they're just not doing anything cool with Ghostface lately, but Art the Clown, I don't know if I'm ever going to get sick of old Artie. Artsy fartsy, come on now. Jake, who do you think is a director more people should know about? That is such a good question. Oh my God. Oh, and you even threw a super chat out there asking the same thing. Thank you, DeChico. Who do you think is an up-and-coming director more people should pay attention to? Up-and-coming director, I have a great answer for that. Mr. Dylan Clark. He hasn't made a feature yet, but he has a couple on the way. And I think he's going to be our next, like, Curry Barker, Kane Parsons that we're all talking about. You know, we're talking about those two people right now because they have big movies coming out this month, of course. But I'm telling you, in another year, it's going to be this fella, Dylan Clark, who he's making a movie called Portrait of God. And it's based off of a short film that you can currently watch here on YouTube right now over on his YouTube channel. And it's so fucking scary. It's really well done. And it's also just a really unique concept. You know, it's kind of maybe a little bit of a religious commentary, so that might not be for everybody. But it kind of gets into the question of what does God look like? If that's something that you believe, if that's something you don't believe, hey, we don't judge anybody around here. Believe what you want to believe. But it's interesting, and, you know, I think that no matter what you believe, it's good to be able to challenge that and discuss all the angles to it as well. You know, it's good to be an open-minded individual, and I think that art like that is necessary and interesting. So if that's something you're down for, check out, Dylan Clark, his YouTube channel. Check out his short film. He's making that into a feature. And I think it's going to be really fucking cool. So I'm very excited to see what Portrait of a God ends up being in a long form movie. Because I don't really like watching the short. Maybe you'll feel this way. Maybe you won't. I don't know how they can develop that into a full feature. I'm not like, you're going to have to change the story a little bit or something. Because I'm just like, how do you with the horror villain is God, essentially. So how do we make that a horror film where there's hope? I guess is my big question. So watch it. And then we'll talk more about it. But it's really interesting. It's a really interesting little short, and I can't wait to see more of it. Now, Dylan, like I said, has not made a feature yet. He's made some really cool short films that fucking bang across the board. He doesn't just have that Portrait of God is like his most popular one, but he's got some other ones on there on his channel that are really fucking cool. Now, he's also doing the new Blair Witch Project movie, which I'm also really excited for. And it's fascinating because him, Curry Barker, and Kane Parsons are all kind of in this very similar situation, as well as Ian Tuason, as well as like a ton of crazy up-and-coming directors who are making stuff, putting it out there. Either maybe they came from YouTube, maybe they came from some sort of online space, and now they're going to the film sphere, if that's the thing, that Hollywood, essentially. And all these guys are in very similar situations. They're making their original things, but then they're also putting their 2 cents onto like continuing franchises. Curry Barker's about to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Dylan Clark, Blair Witch Project, Ian Tuason, Paranormal Activity, which comes out next year. I mean, holy shit. Like we're about to get a lot of good stuff that's not only original horror, but also franchise continuations. So it's going to put these guys' names like out on the map, you know, while also propping up some originals. It's kind of a brilliant little thing that's happening right now behind the scenes in horror. And I'm kind of loving it, if I'm being honest. So I really, really, really hope that more and more people like this who are really talented, who make really good stuff here on YouTube, continue to make feature films. It seems to be the trend right now. Hey, and maybe I can get on that wave. Who knows? Anything could happen. This is a crazy life we lead, ladies and gents. So Dylan Clark, definitely someone to pay attention to. He's going to be a name that I promise you we'll be talking more and more about in the next couple of years. If there's a director, though, that I just feel like is underrated, maybe doesn't get talked about enough, I'm really trying to dig deep here for something or someone. I was just talking about someone the other day who did this movie. Who did this movie? Oh, Christopher Smith. Christopher Smith, really underrated director. This is a guy who directed, I've seen 3 of his movies, and I've really enjoyed all of them. Director of Creep, not the found footage one, but the 2004 movie, which I think is severely underrated. Needs more eyes on it. He also made this movie called Triangle, maybe my favorite from him. Really good. Got a lot of twists and turns. Going to that one blind. And he also made like maybe the most underrated movie from his catalog with Sean Bain. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. A movie called Black Death. It's kind of horror, but it's more of like a little fantasy movie. It's really cool. Really cool little movie that I very much so enjoyed. So Christopher Smith, man, dude that deserves a little more love. He's made some good shit. I don't know what he's up to today. All those movies are from the 2000s, but really good stuff from him. I think he's made a couple of movies that deserve some flowers. But I mean, if I wasn't so off the cuff right now, I'd probably have way more directors to talk about. A lot of great people in the space that don't get enough attention, for sure. But DeChico, thank you for the 5. It's a great question, and I appreciate it. Yo, Super Tenor. How we doing? Devil horns, baby. Jake, what is that? I'm vibing out, dude. I'm vibing out. I'm chilling. I'm talking some horror. I'm doing my favorite thing. How are you, Super Tenor? Thank you for the $2. Thanks for supporting the page. Really means a lot. Thanks for being with us, dude. I love talking horror, baby. It's the greatest thing. It might be the greatest thing out there. Appreciate the support again. Thank you for helping out the channel here. Triple Galax is saying Backrooms looks interesting. Yes, it does. Yes, it sure does. I think it's going to be one of the better horror films of the year. It's going to stand out for being, a liminal space horror film that has a lot of eyes on it. Sadly, hang on. Ooh. Sadly, Exit 8 didn't get a whole lot of attention, and that kind of makes me sad because that was pretty good. I love liminal space as a concept. I think it's terrifying, the idea of just being trapped somewhere that doesn't, not necessarily something like a prison that has bars and you kind of see outside, just like a space that goes on infinitely and you can't get back to the real world. That's terrifying, and Backrooms, Exit 8, exploring these concepts in very different ways. It's been really fun. It's been a really fun, kind of thing to explore, new genre to get into. There's other movies like it, of course, but it seems to be, kind of having a little bit of popularity right now, and it's cool. It's cool as fuck. I can't wait to see how it's explored in this new movie. Kane is going to do a great job with it. He's been so immersed in that universe for the last couple of years. I can't wait to see what he does. Lots of love, lot of excitement there. The Jester is saying Art is more interesting than Ghostface, in my opinion. Love Art the Clown and Rhea Ripley so much. I will give some love to Ghostface, though. The idea that it's a slasher villain that wears the same costume every single time, but there's someone else underneath the mask. I mean, that's really cool. You can kind of reinvent Ghostface with every single movie, even though, maybe the last movie didn't really try to do that. I still think it's really fucking cool. I think it's a cool concept inherently, but that maybe just hasn't been executed well in every single movie. Art the Clown, however, I think there's a criticism maybe that I don't know if I agree with this, if I disagree with this. Art the Clown is essentially just a silent Freddy Krueger. It's like if Charlie Chaplin and Freddy Krueger got thrown into a blender, you got Art the Clown. There's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't call Art the Clown pastiche by any ways. He's inspired, sure, but Art the Clown is his own unique entity, I think. Especially if you look at other killer clowns. Like, other killer clowns have got like either a different kind of supernatural thing going on. Art the Clown is very bleak and very like straightforward supernatural, not like, you know what I mean? Like, you talk about something like Pennywise and he's very fantastical. He's very, he's got these powers that are like otherworldly and hard to, maybe enigmatic is a good way to describe him. Art the Clown is just, oh, you chopped off his head? Well, he's just going to keep going. It's just blatant Art the Clown. Chopped liver, like I love Art the Clown for that reason. You know what I mean? It's fun. He just defies certain laws of nature, and there's not necessarily really any explaining to it. There's nothing really romantic about it. It's just you chop off his head, he's just gonna keep going. Fuck you. And I love that. It's a different flavor than a lot of the other killer clowns out there that we have. So Art the Clown has a lot of personality. A lot of that comes from not only David Howard Thornton's performance, but also Damien Leone's style. He's got this really grungy, grimy, grindhouse 70s style about the way that he makes movies that I think really adds to the Terrifier films. One of the most unfair criticism of the Terrifier franchise is when people say that it's just kills. You're not doing anything else special. It's like, dude, those movies have such a unique vibe to them, though. Even if they didn't have the crazy kills, there's still so much that Terrifier has to offer. I love the fucking soundtrack by Paul Wiley, like across the board. All 3 movies have ripping soundtracks, better than most slasher films these days, like easy, no contest. Easily Terrifier has the best soundtrack of modern slasher films. I'm pretty confident about that. Other movies come close, but Terrifier's number 1. I also think that, I just love the way these movies are shot, like across the board. They're all shot very differently. Maybe 1 and 2 a little more amateurish, but 3 especially, oh, God, it's so cinematic. It's beautiful. I love it. But I don't know. There's a lot to love about Terrifier. It's awesome. Sienna Shaw, great final girl. One of my favorite final girls of all time. Easy. And I think if she has another badass performance here in part 4, could be my number 1. Could be my new number 1. We'll see. again, Sidney Prescott and Laurie Strode, I guess, is kind of up there just because she's technically the first big final girl, right? But Laurie Strode's kind of just fine, in my opinion. Little overrated. Crazy thought, I know. Miss M-I-S-A-C-E. What's up, my friend? How are you? I'm gonna say Miss. How we doing? Yo, would you try Cody Leach's horror quiz game for a video? You know, I have seen his videos where, and I can't remember what it's called specifically, but it's basically like Fuck, Marry, Kill, but with movies. I can't remember exactly how he's called, what he calls it, but that's a really cool little game. I do something similar to that for sure. I don't want to just rip him off though. I don't want to just rip him off, but I do love that idea for like a short. I've been trying to think of like a series I could do just in short form on this page, and that's been something I've been trying to crack. Because as of right now, short form videos are mostly just my reactions to movies, as well as like little clips from the Dexter videos to get people to watch those. Which you should watch the new Dexter videos, where we're kicking off season 2 this week, ladies and gents. Season 2, episode 1 is out now publicly. Season 2, episode 2 comes out tomorrow, but channel members can watch it right now. And I just released today Dexter Season 2, Episode 3 for channel members and Patreon supporters. So check that out uncut over on Patreon if your heart so desires. But yes, I want to do a short form series on this page. So something along those lines is absolutely kind of the goal. So if anyone has a good idea, I'm taking submissions for short form series that I can do in vertically. Definitely something I'm interested in for sure. Who else we got hanging out with us? We got Gina. Yo, what's up, Gina? How we doing? Zig says, bite the like button if you want snuggles. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want some snuggles? I'm all about that. Let's go, baby. Gina, thank you for the support. We appreciate it. And Laris is making a really good point, too. Listen, this movie is kind of getting overshadowed by a lot of the other exciting stuff that's happening in the space right now. But Passenger, guys, this movie looks fucking awesome. And it's such a crazy month, man. We have so much good shit coming out that, you know, a movie like Passenger would be like the film to talk about any other month. It looks so good. It had some great marketing. It's done an excellent job putting itself out there. But sadly, it's sandwiched between two of the biggest releases of the year, which is Obsession and Backrooms. So I'm very excited for Passenger. I just haven't been talking about it because, like, Obsession and Backrooms have been the big movies to talk about lately. So, you know, Passenger just hasn't been one that has really come up lately. But I'm so down for it. Like, I'm so excited for this movie. It looks scary as fuck. And I think it's going to be Andre Overdahl's best movie. That's where I'm at with it. You know, he's made some movies that personally were a little underwhelming in my opinion, at least from what I've seen of his catalog. With Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, is that the title of it? That movie from like 2019, as well as Last Voyage of the Demeter, a little underwhelming in both cases. But this one looks like it's going to kick total ass. Really excited for it. I think it's going to knock my socks right off. Clean off. It's going to be great. Darkness Speaks is with us. How we doing? Just watched Portrait of a God, and man, that was great. But yeah, how are they going to make a full movie out of that? I'm glad I'm not the only one thinking those two things. Yeah, it's so good, but like at the same time, what's this? They got to come up with a whole story. You know, there's just not really like a whole feature. It doesn't lend itself to a feature film. You know what I mean? But it is a cool concept. I'm just excited to see how they turn that into a full film. I'm excited. It sounds like it's going to be a challenge though. And that's what I really like about it. We've seen this happen with a ton of weird shorts turned into full movies though. So anything's possible. I mean, you guys ever watch like the Smile proof of concept, dude? It doesn't really lend itself to a full story either. And they made that into a pretty fucking kick-ass horror franchise now, so. Paula is saying, I have not seen Terrifier, Obsession, or Backrooms. Well, that's okay because two of those movies have not released yet. But if you want to see some kick-ass horror movies, Obsession and Backrooms come out within the next 2 weeks. Obsession this weekend, Backrooms in 2 weeks. And I recommend them both. We have some of the biggest releases coming in the next 3 weeks. So I could not recommend going to the theater a lot this month. I really think Obsession, Passenger, and Backrooms, all movies that are going to be worth your time, all movies people are definitely going to be talking about. So I would, if you can make it out to the theater, definitely for any of those three. I think they're all going to be very good. Erica is saying Jake has started a goal, only needs 6 more super chats, and then we'll stay on for a little longer talking horror. Hell yeah, we will. Hell yeah, we will. Magnificent Logo is saying, Jake, did you see the found footage vids from Kane Parsons? So I've only seen like a couple of the Backrooms videos, but I'm going to be correcting that pretty soon here. So if I have time tomorrow, my goal is to put out a video reacting to some of Curry Barker's short films that are horror, of course. I'm not going to do Milk and Cereal because I've seen that already. I haven't, I've seen one of his Curry Barker's other shorts, really. So I'm going to react to all of his horror shorts that I haven't seen. That's going to be a big video that hopefully I put out tomorrow. Maybe it drops Friday. I'm going to film it tomorrow. We'll see when it releases. But that's going to be a fun one, and I'm really excited to put that out. I think I'm going to do the same thing for Mr. Kane Parsons' week of Backrooms, is I'm just going to watch every single Backrooms video he's put up on his page. Big old compilation video, big old reaction video that'll go up alongside the release of Backrooms in theaters. So I'm thinking about doing that for a lot of these YouTubers turned film directors. Like we were just talking about Dylan Clark, with Portrait of a God. I'm going to go through his whole catalog, I think, when that movie finally comes out. Same thing with just anyone in the space. That's going to be a new series that I really want to do is kind of going through all these different YouTube projects. And then it's like, okay, we've just watched all those. Now let's go check out, what they're doing on the big screen here. So it's a series that I really want to kick off, and we're going to see if it goes anywhere this week. But I'm really excited for it. So I need an excuse to watch all of these different shorts too. So it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be fun to see what that's all about. Cause there's some Curry Barker shorts I have not seen, that I remember I went through his page yesterday, looking at all the different horror shorts, and I'm like, oh my God, I'd never even heard of this. This sounds crazy. So I'm really excited to go through all those, see all the different concepts he's explored. And I'm curious if anything kind of resembles some of the movies that he's got cooking, because he's got a ghost movie on the way and he's got a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the way. So I'm wondering if there's any ideas from his shorts, specifically the horror ones. It's majorly, comedy stuff over there, but I wonder if there's any ideas in those horror shorts that kind of get reinvented into whatever these movies are, that he's making. Or maybe even Obsession. Maybe there's something from one of the shorts that's like, oh, that totally fueled this scene in Obsession. That's crazy to think about. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff to talk about regarding his past and how it's affecting his future. Fort Misery Gaming is also with us. Yo. How we doing? Saying, unfortunately, I can't see Obsession until Sunday, Jake. Please no spoilers Friday or Saturday. I'm going to say no spoilers for a week beyond its release, and then we're going to talk spoilers on the page. That's the typical rule of thumb, unless you see spoilers in the live stream title, but I don't think we're going to do a spoiler stream for Obsession. I think next Friday, though, it's going to be spoilers on. So I give every new movie about a week, and then we're talking about it. But Obsession looks really, really, really good. So you should see it. I've seen it already. It's great. Trust. Erica's saying one day we will all be doing this when you turn pro. I appreciate that. Chicken Man definitely needs a feature. So I will say this. We're working on a little series right now, and we're about to shoot it at the end of the month. And I'm excited for you guys to see it. Last year we put out a 48-hour film that ended up winning best feature at 48-hour film festival here in Cleveland. That's why I got this little plaque back there, which is pretty fucking cool. So if you haven't seen that, Brahmin Synthetic, that's over on our production page, Human Egg Productions. And it was a ton of fun, and it really just inspired us to make more. We're like, we gotta be making movies again, man. I put out 2 shorts last year, and I didn't have anything planned for this year, and I'm just like, we can't slow down now, man. We gotta just make something. So I'm getting together with some buddies, some filmmaking buddies, and we're just gonna make some stuff at the end of this month, and I'm excited for you guys to see it. It's gonna be a weird little series that is hopefully going to premiere later on this year. So I don't want to say any more than that. I don't want to say this is an official announcement, but we're making some creepy stuff that's going to go over there, and I'm excited for y'all to see it. Brandon the Beldam is saying, I'm seeing Obsession Sunday as a double bill with Shrek. Holy, that's an insane double feature, bro. That's actually so nuts. And weirdly enough, I feel like in a way those movies have such similar energy, and I don't want to say why. That is such a weird double feature that actually works so well. And I won't say any more than that, because I don't want to get into spoiler territory. But wow, I didn't even, like, until you said that, I was like, holy fuck, those movies are so similar. In a way, you can look at Obsession as the horror version of Shrek. In a way. There's a way you can look at it. Yo, we got BoinkBot hanging out with us. What's up, BoinkBot? Who are you boinking these days? I don't need to know. Don't answer that question. You're saying, I'm going to see Hokum on Friday. Pretty excited because I've managed to avoid spoilers. Hell yeah, dude, enjoy Hokum. I think it's great. I think it's a really fun horror release. I think it's going to stay in our top 10 of the year. At least for me. That's definitely going to be in my top 10, I think, for 2026. I love Damian McCarthy, man. He's got some really great scary shit. and I think he absolutely delivers on this one. I think Hokum is either going to be everyone's like favorite Damian McCarthy movie or least favorite. It's going to be one or the other. And I'm excited to hopefully talk more about that with you in the future when you get to see it. YB Coraline is saying, whenever you talk about you making films, I keep thinking of the April Fool's video about Red Right Hand 2. Well, we might not be doing Red Right Hand 2, but we are going to release a director's cut this year. So my two film projects is this weird little mysterious horror series that I don't want to talk about too much. And we're also working on a director's cut of Red Right Hand 2. So that is actually, I'm almost done with that, which is crazy. Just a few more things we got to finish up like the sound really, and then it's done. I knocked out like the edits and stuff like in like not even a week. Like I was like, I know exactly. I've been thinking about doing this for a year, maybe a year or two. And I knew exactly, like I got in there, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And then I made some additional changes just based on some people who got to see it. Man, it's so much better. I'm so excited for people to see it. It is shorter, but it does have a bunch of new scenes. Like we cut out a lot, but we added in a lot too. So I think it's just, it flows. The pacing is the big thing. Like the biggest thing about it is it's paced so much better. We cut out all the fluff and we got to add back in some things that I think make the story progress a little better. I remember a lot of people were confused about the ending of Red Right Hand initially, and we made some changes there to make that a little smoother. I don't want to say anymore. I want people to check it out when it releases. I'm not putting a release date on it, but hopefully it comes out this year. Hopefully. But Red Right Hand, the director's cut, it's on the way, and I think it's a much stronger version of that story. So definitely excited for y'all to see it. How long do you plan on making each Chicken Man episode? Hey, listen. Who knows what we're doing? Who knows what we're doing if it's a Chicken Man thing or not? I don't know. Man. Anything could happen. What about Ager's new film, the Werewolf movie, I think? Anyone looking forward to that? Yes. Oh my God, yes. Dude, Werewolf is going to fucking rock. We are hearing some crazy things about it. It could be Ager's darkest film and maybe one of the most freakiest releases of the entire year, baby. I know there's some, there's a lot of controversy with period pieces this year. If it's the Odyssey where people are, talking with American accents, that was kind of like a big controversy. And I think Werewolf is no longer being produced wasn't shot where everyone was speaking in Middle English. So that's such a weird thing. Me personally, that doesn't bug me. I know some people love Robert Eggers because, especially in his first movie, The Witch, they are talking like perfectly like how people would have spoken back in that time period specifically. And I think that's really cool. The attention to detail in that movie is insane. They use natural lighting, which is so fucking difficult. You have to shoot at a certain time of day. The light's got to be come through a certain window or whatever. That's insane. So, The Witch is an insane feat. And I can't really blame the guy for not, approaching every single period piece he's ever made the same way. But I am excited for Werewolf nonetheless. And I do think it's going to totally kick ass. Again, I'm not necessarily looking for perfect, depiction of the time period. I just want a really good story, man. That's what matters most to me, I think. And I think that it's absolutely going to deliver there. Eggers is 4 for 4 in my book. I think he's made 4 fucking excellent movies. 4 near masterpieces, I'd even go so far as to say. And if you haven't seen The Northman, which is probably his most underrated, underseen, least talked about, my God, it's good. It's a fucking epic. And it's so bad. The ending of that movie is like one of the most badass things I've ever fucking seen. It's so good. Watch The Northman. Just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off and watch The Northman. The Jester is saying, I can't wait for Werewolf. Loved Nosferatu. Yes. Brandon still got to see Eggers' Nosferatu. I recommend it, dude. It's a really good version of that story, and so not what I was expecting. You know, honestly, I was a little wary of a Robert Eggers Nosferatu because I just felt like he was going to make a movie that was exactly the Werner Herzog version, which is a great version of Nosferatu, by the way, the 70s Nosferatu. If you haven't seen that, it is like the prime example of creeping dread and horror. Like, I can't think of a better movie besides the original. If I'm being honestly, besides the original Nosferatu, I can't think of a better example of doing creeping dread in a horror flick than the Werner Herzog Nosferatu, dude. It's like I don't know if I would call the movie scary, but I would like it's the creepiest film I've ever seen. Creepy specifically. You just feel like this really like hollow, empty feeling watching it, and it's so bleak. So bleak and creepy. I love it. But I really thought he was going to make a movie very similar to that, very slow moving in terms of pace, and we're just going to have like this scary looking monster in the background occasionally kind of do some creepy shit. But you know, Nosferatu from Eggers, it focuses so much more on the sexual repression nature of the original film, which is only really a small part of the OG. And then it's like you get these powerhouse performances like across the board from everybody. Everyone's great in it. Lily Rose Depp, I think, steals the show, but it's almost a little silly at times too, which is again just a lot of unexpected things from this movie that I think all really worked well and were surprising. It wasn't exactly what you'd expect, and I mean that in nothing but a good way. So some very cool shit going on in Nosferatu. And if you haven't seen it, you definitely got to check it out. You thought The Witch should have came with subtitles because the dialogue was so hard to hear in the theater. Dude, I had to see, you're totally right. I had to see that movie multiple times before I understood everything that was going on. But it's, not every movie, I think some movies like that are challenges and they're more rewarding, I think, when you finally like can get everything that's going on. I like when movies are a little more challenging, I remember when I saw Jordan Peele's Nope the first time, I walked out of that and I was like, I didn't get that at all. Like, I have no idea what the fuck was going on in that movie. And then like 2 or 3 more watches and I was like, okay, now I see it. Now I'm piecing everything together. Because that was the first time I saw Nope, I'm like, how the fuck does all of this connect? How does all of this correlate? I don't get this at all. Few more watches, a few more YouTube videos later, it's like, okay, I see what's going on here. That's interesting. But some movies are challenges, and that's okay. That's a fun thing. Jester is saying, seriously, I've watched that movie quite a few times, and I gotta say I like it 10 times more than the original 1922 classic. I don't blame you for that. I think that the 1922 film is, it's dated. Let's call it what it is. It's a very old film, and it's sometimes those older movies are tougher to get through. Again, challenges though. I think still there's something really unique about watching an older film and still getting something out of it all these years later, over 100 years later. I mean, dude, the original Frankenstein is still so fucking good here in 2026, and that's crazy. That's such a crazy thing. Frankenstein is so good. Bride of Frankenstein is so good. A lot of those Universal monster movies, man, like are actually really great watches. The Mummy, I think, is like criminally underrated. Like, not underrated, but like just it doesn't get talked about anymore. It's an old movie. That's what happens. People just eventually, when your movie gets to 100 years old, people are not talking about it as much anymore, right? But man, the original Mummy, I think, still holds up. The Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, a lot of these movies are still so good here in 2026. Crazy how that happens. YB's gotta go. Just happy I got to be here after so long. Good night, Jake, Erica, and chat. Thanks for being with us. YB Coraline, thanks for talking a little horror. We appreciate you. Go see Obsession this weekend. Have I said that enough times on this stream? I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I have or not. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know. A lot of newer movies are hard to get through for that matter. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, at least for me, I think newer movies are a little easier to get through versus some older movies, but I think that's just maybe because like we're doing things nowadays that are a little more my cup of tea. I will say I think horror in the 2020s is really my flavor because I love when we look at, familiar concepts just in general and we try to do something new with it, not just playing it by the book. And I think that's been a big criticism of modern horrors. It's like, I just wish movies were simple again. That's how a lot of people feel. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I just feel like if we're gonna do a concept that's as old as fucking sin, like, do something new with it. Don't waste our times with something we've already seen. But you can really argue both sides of that coin, because also, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Don't fix it if it ain't broke, kind of energy. I get that too. But I do think it's case by case. Like, I cannot stress enough how good how good Obsession is at doing just that. It takes a familiar concept, spins it in a brand new way, and shows it to you in a way it's never been done before. Larry's part is saying, man, it's a great year for us horror fans. We had Send Hell, Bone Temple, Ready or Not 2, They Will Kill You, Undertone, Hokum, The Mummy, and it's not even the end of the first half of 2026. Crazy times. Dude, I couldn't agree more. We have so many really exciting films still to come that I'm really excited for. Again, we've been talking a lot about the May releases, but even going beyond that, we have Ice Cream Man coming in August. I'm really excited for the new Insidious. If no one else is, I don't care. I'm so hyped up. I love the Insidious movies, and this one looks so much better than the last movie. I'm so sorry. No offense to Patrick Wilson, who I love so much, but Red Door, it was mid. It was so mid. It was so fine. It wasn't bad. It was just mid. Insidious 6, I think, is going to be much better. Ice Cream Man, again, I can't stress enough how excited I am for a new Eli Roth horror film that feels more like his older stuff, which I'm more into. Everybody loves Thanksgiving, and I enjoyed Thanksgiving for what it is, but I just love those classic Eli Roth horror films from the 2000s. This feels a little more like early Eli Roth to me, so I'm getting all nostalgic with Ice Cream Man, I guess. So I'm really excited for that one. What else is coming out this year? Leviticus is not getting enough love, not getting enough attention. I think that's the next big Neon release outside of what else are they releasing this year? No, I think that's just the next big Neon release. Hokum was Neon, right? Really excited for that movie. Scary Movie 6, of course. I mean, come on now, that's hype as fuck. And maybe, just maybe, we're getting a VHS movie this year. Fingers fucking crossed. I hope. And hey, if we are getting a VHS movie, we're gonna get that announcement very soon here. That's gonna come this summer. It always comes like 3 months before the movie drops. So July, June, maybe we get a big announcement. We'll see. We will see. I really fucking hope so, though. Lots of good stuff still to come, though, guys. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, if Ryan Coogler does another period piece horror, which would you pick? I mean, I don't know, dude. He's every time I've seen him do like a period piece thing that was like based on a real story, he's kind of botched it. So I don't know. I think he's just kind of better doing his own thing for me personally. I'm just not a fan of his monster series. It's kind of glorifying serial killers in a way. And I don't know, maybe that's for some people, but it's not necessarily for me. Murder is fun when it's fictional, when it's not real, but in IRL, I don't think it's fun at all. I think it's terrible. So I don't know. I think, Ryan Coogler, I hope that he just sticks to American Horror Story. That's what I'm hoping for. Jake, sorry I hadn't been around lately. Life has been hectic. Jordan, I get it. It's all good, my friend. I'm just glad you're with us now. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for saying hey. Brandon's hyped for Insidious 6. Hey, you and me both, buddy. Let's go. Let's go, Brandon. Thanks for being with us, dude. I appreciate that. I also appreciate the support. Not as much. There's not a whole lot of love going around for Insidious 6. I made a video about it, and like majority of the comments were like, "Dude, who cares about this franchise anymore?" And I'm like, "Me, I care about this franchise still. Damn it." Derek J is Derek J. Can I say that right? What's up, my friend? How are you? Hello. Boinkbot is saying, Drats, I must be going. Thanks for the chills and thrills, everyone. Of course. Goodbye, my friend. Thanks for being here. Drats. That needs to make a comeback. Can more people start saying that, like IRL? Dude, I would lose. If someone did that to me unironically, I would laugh so fucking hard. Like, are you kidding me? Drats. That's so funny. Do you think Clint Howard will cameo in Eli Roth's Ice Cream Man? Brandon, it's a really good question. Eli Roth has made it very clear that this is not a continuation or remake or even a reimagining of the Clint Howard flick. But that movie is so bad it's good, and it is so much fun. So I almost, in a way, hope that Clint Howard is attached to it in some capacity. I doubt it, but Ryan Murphy is who I mean, Brandon. Yeah, I totally mixed them both up. Similar names. No, Ryan Coogler's great. I'm sorry. I'm fucking stupid. No, if Ryan Coogler does another period piece, he's gonna kick ass with it. Yeah, no, Sinners was amazing. Wow, totally wires crossed. That's crazy shit right there. I've been working all day. But Ryan Coogler, I definitely hope he makes another period piece or another horror movie in general. He's not exclusively horror, don't forget. He's made movies in all different kinds of genres. Will he make another horror film? I don't know, dude. Sinners was so fucking, came out the gate, kicked total ass, made a ton of money as an original horror film. That's a pretty rare story. Doesn't happen all the time. But yeah, I really think that's going to be, I think if he does another horror film, it'll be the top of the list in terms of anticipation. So I really hope that he does. Yeah, sorry. Wow. Totally, totally crossed wires there. Those are two different dudes that I feel very differently about. That's really funny. Evan from Rockland Graves, I have been waiting for this. Sweet fuck, I just got out of Obsession. I was going to call you, but realized you're live. You can still call me, though. We take phone calls around here. we take live calls while we're on the air. Evan, I got to know your thoughts on Obsession as well. I really hope you liked it. And I'm assuming you did from the holy sweet fuck. But it's so funny because earlier today, you posted and you said, I really hope I haven't had this film overhyped. And I messaged you specifically saying, this movie fucking sucks balls. Everyone is just lying. He's actually calling me, guys. Yo, Evan, how's it going, dude?
If you're offering, I'm taking you up on it, bro. Holy fucking shit.
Dude.
It's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is, right?
Bro.
Now, okay.
What the fuck?
So, listen. The folks at home have not seen this movie yet. But I got it, like,
hear me right now?
Chat can hear you right now, I think. And
Okay.
can you tell us your initial thoughts without spoiling anything?
Okay, Curry Barker is a fucking genius. First of all,
Yes.
Obsession is I don't rate things ever. That is a 10 out of fucking 10. Like that is the scariest shit I've seen in a theater in probably I don't know, 10 years?
Dude, without a doubt.
Dude, that's like the definition of, I literally had, at one point, I was biting my hand. I was so on edge.
Man, again, without spoiling anything, I was, I saw it with Dylan and Luke from Splattercast, and I walked out of that theater and I'm like, dude, that's my favorite movie of the year, like, without a doubt. Like, nothing's gonna top that for me.
Dude, I'm like, I see what you, like, I saw your short and you were like giddy, vibrating. I'm feeling that right now. Like, my brother's with me and we're both just like fucking like amped up. That was insane. Everyone listening, please go see Obsession.
It's worth the hype, right? Like, I'm not just greasing everybody up here.
See, that's the thing. Like, you don't usually overhype something. When you texted me and said that it was like, I don't know if you still feel like this, but that it was maybe your favorite movie of the last decade. I was like, okay, there's something here. And I was just like, today, the whole day, I was trying to like keep my expectations like in check because there was so much buzz.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get what you said out of my head. But I went in like, okay, maybe I'll like it, but I don't know if I'm gonna. That's the best movie of the year so far, without a doubt, for me. I haven't been that scared of something in a long time. That is so unbelievably creepy. And what I love is that every time you think you know what's going on, even just in like as microcosms on a scene by scene basis, you can't ever settle into this movie. And that's what's so good about it.
Dude, yes. There's like and I again, not spoiling anything. They find ways to scare you in way like, and I'm just like, how did they make that into a scare? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's so impressive, right?
There's
On a technical level.
Like, I'm also like, how do you come up with this?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a simple concept, but the execution of it is like genuinely genius. Curry Barker is like, I don't even know how to explain where this dude is going. Like, that's gonna, man, it's gonna be like a generation-defying horror film if he keeps doing shit like that.
Just the way that
he's gonna be like the John Carpenter of our generation or something. Like, what the fuck?
If he keeps putting out movies like this that are like so disarming with familiar concepts, but then take us to some really extreme, unexpected places like this, yeah, he's I mean, horror director of the decade. I'm so excited to see what he does next. Have you seen Milk and Cereal?
Yeah, I just watched it recently. It was awesome.
It's so, dude, another movie where I'm like, I've seen this movie before, but then the twists start to happen, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy.
I mean, that movie, Milk and Cereal, even more so than Obsession, was like, I just never knew what was happening.
Yeah, some of those twists are like kind of unbelievable in that movie.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to keep your chat too long. I know they're not here for me, but I wanted to call you to fucking gush. That's insane.
Dude, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you like this movie, and I like the moment I was like, oh, when he sees it, I gotta text him. Like, I'm so curious his thoughts, but I'm so happy you liked it, because this is like I was so serious, man. This is maybe my favorite film that I've covered on the page so far. So can't wait for everyone to see it.
I'm buzzing. We'll talk soon, buddy.
Okay, sounds good, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right, man. Yeah.
Peace. Very cool stuff from Evan of Rockland Graves. Thank you for calling in, my dude. Way too damn funny. I'm not overhyping this. I promise you it's that good. That is hopefully the experience you'll have with it as well. Yo, Anthony, Child of the Corn. How we doing, man? Thanks for the $2. What's good, bro? About to watch TCM 2003. Oh, great watch. Great movie, dude. Maybe the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel, like without a doubt. Dude, thanks for being with us. Anthony, you got to come on the page sometime. We were just talking about having you on. I want to do another group stream at some point. Let's talk about scheduling that sometime. But dude, enjoy Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That movie rocks so hard. And you know what I'm also going to say? The beginning. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, man. Very good as well. Maybe just as good. Hot take? I don't care. So good. God damn it. God damn it, it's good. I love this too. Thoughts on the Batman 2 in the snow, Mr. Freeze? ? Dude, I would love for them to do Mr. Freeze, because he is such a good villain in the comics. I've read a lot about how tragic of a character he is, and how tragic it is that Batman and Robin or whatever portrayed him so poorly. I would love for them to do a better version of that, with Matt Reeves' kind of more darker style. That's such a perfect villain, I think, for this era of Batman, to do it a little more comic accurate. So yeah, I really hope that's the case. That has me very excited. I haven't really been covering that one too closely. No one really cares about my superhero takes, is what I've learned over the years. But I am really excited for it, man. I just love Matt Reeves movies. He really does it for me. Pretty much everything I've seen of his, I've really liked. The Batman I thought was really fucking cool. I thought, oh my God, Edward from Twilight is Batman? That's crazy. Then I saw the movie, and I'm like, I'm a believer, baby. I'm Team Edward all the way. Let's go. Let's go. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for that. Bring on Batman 2. We got ScarJo in that movie. We got there's other people in that movie that I just can't think of. There's a lot of cool cast members. I don't know why Scarlett Johansson is the only one I remember, but a lot of cool new people coming in that one. And yeah, I think it's going to be great. Hopefully the wait will be worth it, right? Anthony, thanks for the support, man. Really appreciate you a bunch. Erica, are you sending out a free membership to Patreon? Is that what that link is? That's crazy. That's awesome. There's some really cool stuff over on the Patreon, like some uncut and uncensored versions of the Dexter videos on this page. So you might want to click on that link if someone hasn't already. Just saying. And Erica, listen, we respect everyone's opinion around here, but this is a scorching hot take right here. Jared Leto's Joker is the best Joker. I will always say that. I said what I said. Damn. Like against all the other Jokers? Erica, you got to call in now. Erica, you got to call in now and defend your point. I'm just messing with you. I just think that there's so many good Jokers. Like, it's kind of hard just to pick one. I mean, Batman 89, you got Jack Nicholson, fucking iconic. I don't remember the original dude from the Adam West series, but he's also great. I always forget his fucking name, dude. But he, like, man, that guy's classic. Classic as fuck. Don't remember his name. Caesar something, maybe? Question mark? I don't know. And then, of course, I mean, like, some more modern ones. Heath Ledger is probably my personal favorite. Fucking, I mean, I grew up with The Dark Knight, so, of course, that's going to be my favorite. I'm a normie. I don't care. And, you know, I think Joaquin Phoenix Joker has been kind of tarnished by part 2 in a lot of ways, but that 2019 film's still pretty damn good, even if it is just a taxi driver ripoff starring the Joker. Hey, listen, that doesn't devalue his performance by any means. I mean, it's still very fucking awesome. Erica is saying they're all great. Hey, respect. Respect, Erica. Listen, we're all about hot takes around here. You know what's up. Kelly got the Patreon, which is pretty damn cool. We'll check out the uncut and uncensored Dexter videos. There's a fuck ton of them over there. Like a whole bunch. Life is crazy. Colby Does Horror. What's up, dude? Welcome in. I just watched that screener you sent me, by the way. Holy shit, what a crazy ass movie. I'm really excited to talk about that secret movie that I can't talk about quite yet. But really excited to talk about that one in another week. I think I can talk about it, right? It's dropping. I think it drops in like a week from today, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I can't remember, but we'll talk soon. Definitely excited for that one. What else is going on? We got Jordan saying, to give context, my favorite type of horror is Scream or Happy Death Day. So you like some murder mysteries? I fuck around with some of those. Mess around with some of those every now and then, you know? The Jester is saying Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger will always be my two favorite Jokers. Can't really choose which I love more. I love them equally. Who are some other Jokers that I'm just not thinking of? I guess, you know, Barry Keoghan, however you pronounce his last name. You know, he was the Joker very briefly. So I guess that's somebody. Mark Hamill. I mean, the voice from the animated series. You got to throw him in there. That voice is iconic. Come on now. So I've heard a lot of people say that's their favorite Joker, and I can't even argue with that, dude. That voice is so good. He kills it. I think that's easily one of Mark Hamill's most like iconic characters, and that's saying something from the guy that played Luke Skywalker. Come on now. Colby saying, I'm glad you dug it. I'm curious your thoughts on that, because that's a movie that I don't think everyone's gonna like. The one that with what do I say as code for that? But I'll say magic. That's a movie I don't think everyone's going to like, but I liked it. But I thought it was weird as fuck, and I liked it. Curious what everyone else's take is going to be on that one. The Jester saying, here's my hot take. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is better than the original Texas Chainsaw. Ooh. See, like, I kind of love that hot take, though, because everyone hates Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and that bums me out. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, like, I feel like the whole point of it is to be, like, just not to make the same movie again. So let's make a parody of the original. It's the Evil Dead 2 to Evil Dead. You know, that's kind of how I feel about it. I love Texas Chainsaw 2. I love Evil Dead 2. I feel very much the same way about both of those films. They are a goofier rendition of what came before in an effort to not make the same film again. And that's really fucking cool to me. So you got to respect that kind of approach coming from different, coming from the same filmmakers in both cases too. You know, Sam Raimi doing Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, and Tobe Hooper doing the original Texas Chainsaw, and then over a decade later coming back to it and being like, let's do kind of a horror comedy. Fuck it. I love that shit, dude. Texas Chainsaw 2, it's so good, man. It does not get the love it deserves. Taya is saying, do you think Art will be the next killer on Dead by Daylight since it's the 10th anniversary? 100%. I think if he doesn't show up in Dead by Daylight, what the fuck are we doing? Art the Clown is in so many different video games already. How would he not be in Dead by Daylight? Come on. How is that not a thing already? So I'd be super shocked if at some point Art the Clown is not one of the new characters in Dead by Daylight somehow, some way. Colby Does Horror is saying super weird. I liked Mr. Crockett a lot better, even though they're very different. I totally agree. But very similar, right? Definitely in the same like weird category of horror. Mr. Crockett, definitely a better film. But with that being said, the very different approach for this one I appreciated. They really just stuck to it. And there's another very popular horror, not even a horror movie, another very popular movie that this one reminded me of. And I like that influence there. So I'm definitely excited to talk about that one a little more in depth when we finally can. Gemstone Ghoul is saying Jack Nicholson version was pretty good as well. I love Batman in the 80s. Batman in the 80s is so good, dude. Batman 89 is a 90s movie, though. Can we be real? It's like so 90s. It's such a 90s feeling film. And I love it. It's excellent. But Batman 89 is so good. Batman Returns is so good. And then, there's other movies. Then there's other Batmans from the 90s as well. But man, 89 and Returns, so good. Love those movies. I grew up with those movies, and then I saw the Christopher Nolan ones, which are also very good. Just different, It's all over the place. There's different degrees to how dark Batman gets. And I like that, Batman 89 and Returns, like those are still have a little bit of that goofiness from the original series, the Adam West series. Still a little goofy, but definitely a shade darker, right? Every single time we brought Batman back, like we go like darker, just a little darker each time. We take one more little tiptoe into that field. Make it a little more grounded and serious every single time. How far we've come too with Batman is so crazy to me. We started where it was like borderline a fucking comedy. Like this silly ass crazy shit just happening where you're laughing your whole way through it. And now, I mean, Matt Reeves' Batman is just fucking plain drama, dark, very serious in tone. It's crazy how all over the place we've gone with Batman. So interesting to me how things evolve like that over time. I'm so curious how that's going to happen with, some of our modern icons. Like James Bond, for instance, is someone we've had 50 fucking James Bond movies, and they have varied in tone all over the place, gone from serious to silly, sleazy, all over the place in terms of tone and direction, storylines we've been able to tell there. And now, we've seen that happen with like popular horror villains from like the 80s now. And what's that going to look like in another 20 years? You know what I mean? We're going to get another Freddy movie eventually. We're going to get another Jason movie eventually. What does that look like? There's probably going to be another James Bond thing happening soon, but like with the 80s horror slashers, how is that going to change over time based on the state of audiences and what we want to see? I'm so excited. I'm so excited to learn more about that. I'm always so fascinated with what's next in horror. It's almost like I have a whole YouTube channel about it. Colby Does Horror is saying, I got an invite to see Passenger Monday. Not sure if I'm going yet. My usual +1 is busy. So if you give me a reason to go, I'm down. Dude, if I didn't have to drive 5 hours, Colby, I'd be so down. I'd be so down, man. That's just tough. That's a tough trip to make. But man, I would love to see Passenger early. I'll see what I can do, but I don't know. I don't know if I can make that. I fucking wish though, man. Holy shit, that would be so cool. I'm so excited for Passenger. We were just talking about this one earlier. A movie I haven't talked about too much that has been kind of, overshadowed by some other releases that are just really exciting this month. May is chock full of exciting stuff, man. Oh my God. You're saying, I get it. I don't want to sit in Chicago traffic for an hour. And Colby, I've been to Chicago one time. and it was literally just sitting through traffic for multiple hours after a very long road trip. We were coming back to Cleveland, and and I don't know why I thought it would be faster to drive through Chicago than go in a different way, but man, Windy City, man, you got some crazy traffic over there. That shit's insane. But it's a beautiful city from what I've seen. Haven't really stopped there, but yeah, did check it out. Yeah, and that is sadly a good point too. Gas is the most expensive I have ever seen it, like in my entire lifetime. So, a road trip right now doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, sadly. But if I could teleport, Colby, I'd be there. I'll tell you what. Are you handing me a jar of pickles right now? What do you want me to do with that? Oh, you want me to open it? I got you.
I hope you spill it all over your crotch.
You are cracking me up right now. You're really gonna make me embarrass myself live on the internet right now? This is so hard to open.
It'd be more embarrassing if I came over there and tried to help.
Pickle juice all over my crotch. Didn't have that on the bingo card tonight. Yeah, what am I gonna do with this?
You're gonna put the lid back on.
Okay.
Because it doesn't automatically reseal itself.
I opened it all by myself though. I feel so fucking cool.
How much juice did you get on you?
I got a lot of juice. Who wants to see the juice on my pants?
Oh, yeah. The juice is loose.
Now I feel like if I stand up, I'm gonna get like banned on YouTube or something. Everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck did Jake do?" Live on camera. I goo.
It's really salty.
I got my salty pickle juice all over myself. Oh Lord. I almost want to, dude, that smells so good though. I fucking.
Do you want to take a pickle?
My mouth is watering. You know what? Can I take a pickle? Can I slurp on a pickle?
Be careful with the lid.
I put it back on.
All the way?
No. Put it back on though. Y'all ever just eat pickles straight up? I fucking do. I have no shame in this.
Dude, I'll drink that shit.
It's so good.
It's so good. Okay, come on, give it back. That's my dinner right there. That and Gardettos.
You are not eating a jar of pickles for dinner.
Not the whole jar, but...
You know what, Boo? You do whatever you want.
I paid for it. Technically. Can I have it back?
No.
You didn't need to eat the whole thing. You could have taken it out, given me the jar back, and then ate it. Choke. I hope you choke on it.
I already have so much juice all over me. I did not want any more juice on me.
Nah.
So much juice. Anyways, let's get back to it. Brandon the Beldam. How we doing? See, Army of Darkness used to be my favorite Evil Dead, but it barely inches out from Evil Dead 2013 and Evil Dead Rise. If Army of Darkness is your favorite Evil Dead, I love you, just for the record. Army of Darkness, you know, sometimes the take I often hear about Army of Darkness is that it's too silly, is that it doesn't feel like an Evil Dead film. And I disagree. I think Army of Darkness is like, it's a straight up comedy. And I would argue it's not even a horror film, but it is still very much so an Evil Dead movie. And I think that original trilogy did such a good job at paving the way for what the Evil Dead series is. And it's a franchise that we don't really give a fuck about the tone, but we are going to tell different kinds of stories revolving around the same kind of concept. And in every single Evil Dead movie, we see essentially the same story play out, but with a variety of crazy tones. I mean, my God. My God, what a nutty series this is in terms of tone and characters, whatever. I mean, you know, we go from fucking Bruce Campbell fighting an army of skeletons to a more grounded, serious version of the original film in Evil Dead 2013 over a decade, almost 2 decades later. I love the Evil Dead franchise, man. It's so fucking cool. Same story pretty much every time, but that's your dinner. Yeah. Guys, she has a bag of Gardettos. Just the garlic rye chips and like a plate of 5 pickle spears. That's your breath is gonna be so bad. So garlicky. It's so big.
Alien in me.
You know, I love you so much. I will still give you a kiss goodnight, though. That's what I'll say. And that was a burp. Ladies and gentlemen, Madison.
Do you want to show them the presentation?
No, that's okay, but thank you very much. I think everyone knows what 5 pickle spears and Gardettos look like, but I appreciate it. And a Sprite, we can't forget. That brings it all together, you know?
Sprite over there. I just can't hold it at the same time.
A little bit of sweet to cut through the salty. My God. We care about health in this house, okay? We care about healthy meals.
We got salad in the fridge.
Yeah.
I'm just foregoing the salad and bacon.
RFK would be so proud of what you're doing right now.
According to him, this is. I'm pretty sure this is the food pyramid right here.
That's the food pyramid, baby.
You know that thing we haven't used in 20 years, but let's bring it back.
Flip it upside down. It's the same thing.
Bring it back. Flip it upside down. Get rid of the fucking plate. Who cares about the high plate?
Get rid of it. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Okay. Oh, what an insane segue that we've gone down. Anyways, Helmir got picked up by Troma. That makes so much sense. I haven't seen it yet, Colby. I have not watched that one, but I have watched some of the trailers for it. It just straight up looks like a Troma movie. Like, it just, like, if you didn't even tell me that, I would have probably guessed Lloyd had something to do with it. So that makes so much sense. Still gotta watch. I still haven't. That's the only one of the screeners I have not watched yet. Evil Dead or Insidious, says Killjoy Jake. Said not Killjoy Jake. Brandon is asking Killjoy Jake, Evil Dead or Insidious. I mean Evil Dead because come on, but I love the Insidious movies. They're a huge part of like why I love horror so much. I've told this story before, but we snuck as a 13-year-old. I went to go see Insidious because it's PG-13. It was my first PG-13 horror movie. It was a big deal. I remember being so excited for it. And we snuck some of our friends in. Like us kids, you know, we snuck into our local theater, so like no one cared. And we got to sneak some of our friends in who weren't 13 yet. And we saw Insidious, and it scared the fucking shit, like living daylights out of us. It was so awesome. But Insidious, like, I mean, that movie is one of the many reasons I love horror so much. It was a huge part of my upbringing, seeing that one with all of my dumb little friends at the time. Oh my God. I mean, fuck. I still remember that. The first time I saw that scare in that movie, dude, it fucking floored me. And you know the one. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you've seen it. So Insidious will always be a very big part of my life and why I love horror so much. But Evil Dead on paper is just, it's just a better series in terms of approach and where the story is gone, whatever. I saw at the store they had pickle flavored Doritos. They have pickle flavored everything now, man. Don't they have like pickle Lay's chips and shit? I haven't tried those, but they got to be good, right? Pickle chips have got to be good, man. I fuck around with some pickles. Erica is saying that food always creeps into the streams. It really has. Every stream now has had some sort of food theme, and I'm glad pickles were the theme today. I've been really feeling some salty food. I've been on a diet for the last like 2.5 weeks now. And I am, you know, the thing about dieting, I think that sucks the most is that you're hungry all the time. And I think that's a healthy thing. You shouldn't be full all the time, but goddamn, I'm so hungry right now, dude. I had the littlest itsy bitsy dinner, and now I'm like, fuck, I'd kill for some mozzarella sticks right now. Pickle romaine noodles, says Chris. That's crazy. Crazy. What? Where can I get them? Who would eat that? Crazy. Where do they sell them? So that I can tell you where not to go and for no other ulterior motives. Erica is saying Insidious, Sinister, and The Conjuring, all faves, and I often confuse them. They all came out around the same time and they all kind of do the same thing. But you know what? They're all fucking good. I love all three of those movies so much. Oh, man. Again, era of my life where I was really like, that's why I love Blumhouse so much, and I will continue to defend them even when they put out dumb movies like Imaginary and Night Swim. Dude, Blumhouse, the reason I love horror, man. Insidious, Paranormal Activity, Sinister, so many movies from those early, like the late 2000s, early 2010s that I just fell in love with, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like my calling. I fucking love horror so much. It was so funny too, because I feel like after It Follows kind of came out in like 2014, the Babadook around that time too, and then like I kind of dipped out of horror for a little bit, and then like 2018 again, I started going and seeing everything, and it was just like hype. It was just crazy fucking hype. Really good stuff. Loved a lot of movies coming out around that time. Halloween 2018, Hereditary, just like stuff all over the place that I was just like super into again. But yeah, lots of great stuff in the space of horror, man. Brandon is saying Insidious and Dead Silence were the scariest fucking movies I saw in high school. Dead Silence gets... No one knows about Dead Silence. I can't even say people hate it because no one has fucking seen Dead Silence. And such a shame. James Wan is this master of horror now. He's made countless horror hits. Been a producer on many fucking great horror flicks, as well as some bad ones too, but mostly good ones. And I like Dead Silence. You go back to that, and it's such a great bridge between Saw and Insidious. I feel like it's got great elements of both of those movies kind of packed into that one film. If you haven't seen Dead Silence, man, if you haven't seen, let me phrase it this way. If you haven't seen Dead Silence and you're a huge fan of both Insidious and Saw, man, like you have to watch Dead Silence. It has the crazy, weird ass, like fuck ass transitions from Saw, but then it's more like that scary jump scare kind of shit you got from like Insidious as your main flavor of horror. It's so interesting, man. It feels like if Kevin Greutert like edited an Insidious flick, I think is the best way to explain it. But man, Dead Silence, really cool little movie. I really enjoy it. Maybe the most underrated film that James Wan has directed. Sorry, Jake, but anything with pickle spice is just not for me at all. I hate the smell of pickles. Like, so you don't like vinegar. You don't fuck around with that. I fuck around with some vinegar, man. I put like malt vinegar on fries and shit. It's so good. But it does make your breath fucking stink. Like, it's bad, dude. You got to have some mint or something afterwards. Flush that shit down. Like, dude, I'm going to have to clean this mic or something, man. Because, man, I can smell my own breath right now. It's bad. But anyways, haven't seen the Babadook or however it's spelled. That's correct, actually, Erica. Kick-ass job. Heard it was awful. I really like it. It's a movie that I think it's a movie that if you go back to and watch now, it's not going to hit the same because like every movie has done what the Babadook did now. So if you're kind of like, if you've seen a lot of modern horror that has dealt with like the grief story, that really, like in the way that the Babadook approached it, that so many movies have copied that same kind of approach where it's like, we're using this monster as a metaphor for grief. That sounds really familiar, doesn't it? Babadook was like really one of the first super mainstream, super popular horror films to do it in that way, jump scare monster, also grief metaphor. Also, we're dealing with some really subtle things that I feel like are maybe too controversial to get into in an off-the-cuff live stream, but it's interesting nonetheless. I think it's a really well done movie, and if you can appreciate that this is an older film now, and a lot of other movies have kind of ripped it off, you can find some value in it. But that's a movie. So it's so funny because when that movie came out, like everyone talked about it. Everyone's like, dude, you got to see the Babadook. It's so good. I've watched that movie like 25 fucking times, and I'm honestly sick of it. Like, it's great. It's amazing. And I recommend seeing it if you haven't seen it. Horror classic without a doubt. But my God, I have seen that movie so many goddamn times. Like, dude, I'm good. I'm good on the Babadook. I've done it. I feel the same way with Midsommar now. When Midsommar came out, like I was blown away by it in theaters. I'm like, this movie's so fucking good. Scared the shit out of me. It's great. Very well done. Florence Pugh is amazing. I just like I've seen that movie 25, 50 times. Midsommar, that was my move. That was my go-to movie whenever someone would tell me like, oh, I don't really like art house horror. Like, that's not really my vibe. And I'm like, dude, you got to watch Midsommar. It's so accessible. Put that one on. It'll get you into all the other stuff. So I would show people that like all the time. And everyone really liked it, but you see a movie enough times and it's just like, okay, I'm good. I've done it. I've seen the movie. It's great. Man, I'm so good on Midsummer. I've seen it. I've seen that movie enough times. Mirrors is one of the very few movies that scared the shit out of me. That mirror scene, man, that gave me a phobia of mirrors. No joke. Mirrors. I probably have seen that one. I just don't remember it by name. Oh, 2008. Okay. I have not seen this, but I was just reading about it. Yeah, Alexander Aja directed this. I have not seen this one, but I have heard if you like Alexander Aja, you got to watch this one. Oh, Cameron Boyce is in this and Kiefer Sutherland. It's got a great cast. That's crazy. I have not seen this, but if you want to see a really good mirror horror movie, you got to see Oculus. A little more popular, I'd say, and most people have probably heard of it, but it's very good. Mike Flanagan movie, so you know it's going to be good. Great stuff. Is it like Midsummer at all? Hated Midsummer. No, it's not. It's not like. It's very different than Midsummer, but I'm trying to think of a movie that it's similar to. There's so many that I can probably point to. This is like the most recent example of a movie that kind of approached in the same way as The Babadook, and it's a much lesser movie than The Babadook at that. But The Woman in the Yard, like just the idea of we are using something scary as a very clear metaphor for grief and the loss of a loved one. And Woman in the Yard is probably the best example of something that's just blatantly ripping off The Babadook. The Babadook, metaphor for grief. The woman sitting in the yard dressed in black. Very clearly a metaphor for grief, you know? So I don't know. I mean, there's countless movies just like that, but I feel like I don't know why that's the only one that's coming to mind. That's the most recent example, I feel. So if you want to see grief metaphor movie, check out the Babadook. Again, first one to do what like a lot of these modern approach movies have done to do something similar. There's more examples. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Trust me, there's a million movies just like that. Mirrors is one of the I read that already. Never mind. Crazy story. I watched Dead Silence a few years ago. It's underrated and I kept seeing dolls in my dreams for weeks. Interestingly enough, it also has a Billy the Puppet, but not the same one from Saw. So multiple Billy the Puppets in James Wan Lee Winnell land. Kind of interesting to think about. Jester is saying, I fucking hate the smell of vinegar. I know someone in my school who legitimately smelled like vinegar. Talk about disgusting. Okay, that's nasty. I can see that ruining it for you. You hated Midsummer though, Erica. What did you think of what did you think of Hereditary? Did you like that movie? I'm curious. Ari Aster, again, not a director for everybody, but I feel like some of his movies are a little more, you can jump into them rather than others. I Am Lardman is saying Terrifier. I don't even know her. You're so funny. Round of applause, my friend. Round of applause. Ben is saying Midsummer is tremendous and I prefer it over Hereditary. Hey, totally fair. I like Hereditary a little more, but at the same time, I can't argue with that because I think both are great in their own respective field. Midsummer deals with grief, but again, in a different way. And I know I know that comment's going to come, but it's just not the same as something like The Babadook. The Caller is an underrated scary film. The Caller. I don't know that one either. There's a couple Caller movies. There's one from 1987, from 2020, from 2011. I imagine you mean the 2011 film. I feel like that's the one you're probably talking about. I have not even heard of this. Mary, a divorcee, discovers an antique telephone and sets it up in her new apartment. However, things get complicated when she receives mysterious and disturbing phone calls from the past. Ooh, calls from the past. I like that. What's is it the fucking what is that movie called? Shit. Is it The Notebook? Where it's like you get the notes from the past or whatever? It's The Notebook, but scary. I like it. The Caller, I don't even know her. Okay, you know what? For the double beat, you get a real round of applause this time. That's fun. That's funny as fuck. 10 out of 10, Lardman. Let's go. Jordan Curley is saying, my next hot take is going to piss people off. Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 is actually amazing and understands the tone for me. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I really think that movie fails story-wise, but tone, I think it nails it. I agree there. And I feel like that's where it has fans, is the fact that it hit that darker tone for Freddy. Dude, I still will maintain that the scariest thing in all of Nightmare on Elm Street is the opening scene of the 2010 film. That is fucking excellent. You know, I think doing a storyline that kind of just rips off a lot of the other Nightmare on Elm Street films is essentially where that one goes wrong for me. I don't like what they do with... They focus on a certain element of Freddy Krueger's characteristic that should have been left in his character that was left in the past. You should have left that in the past. And you know exactly what I'm talking about if you've seen it. I don't need to know that. That doesn't need to be a thing with Freddy. You don't got to take it to those lengths, to those extremes. But I think there is some value in Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 though. And it's a film that still gets brought up today for good reason, because I think, again, that scarier tone does work a lot of the time in that movie, just not all the time, sadly. I don't think it's a good movie, but I do think it's a movie worth talking about, is what I'll say, because it does something really interesting with A Nightmare on Elm Street, but I just wish it had done it with a better story. And what's his face that plays Freddy Krueger? People are like, dude, Robert Englund's the only one who can play Freddy Krueger. I don't know, man. What's his face does a great job in this movie, and I can't fucking think of his name. It's gonna kill me now. Jackie Earle Haley. Jackie Earle Haley is a great Freddy Krueger, man. I will, again, die on that hill. He kills it in that movie. Just, again, working with a better script, working with a guy who hadn't only directed music videos, you might have turned out a better product there. Have I gotten to check out Lauren Levera's film Twisted from this year? Great flick. No, you know, I haven't watched that. Earlier this year, I was so swamped with Scream stuff, I really wasn't covering a lot of weirder shit, but I'm going to be making an effort on this page to just cover all the stuff I'm excited about, opposed to just covering Scream. Because, man, I'm really losing interest in Scream with all the weird, fucked up choices they're making. But yeah, I definitely want to talk a little more about... I want to talk more about a lot of weird Lauren Levera movies that she's been making. A lot of really cool and interesting stuff. I have not seen Twisted yet. It's got Jaimin Hansu in it, though, who I fucking love and I think is crazy underrated. I got to watch that movie. It comes from, what's his face? That directed Saw 2, Darren Lynn Bousman, which is really fucking cool. You got to love that. And yeah, I want to watch that movie, man. I have not seen that one. Tamala Voorhees. But she just was announced to be in this new movie called like Man or Bear, and I think it's playing off of the whole internet thing, the man versus the bear thing. Would you rather be stuck in the woods with a bear or a man? That's the question. And I think I don't know. I think that's interesting. I don't know. There's been a lot of movies made off of internet trends that haven't exactly gone anywhere. They were going to make a Barbenheimer movie. What the fuck happened with that? Who the fuck knows? It's way too late to even care about that anymore. They were going to make a movie about that weird Willy Wonka AI experience that turned out to be total dog shit. Is that still happening? Does anyone care about that anymore? I don't think so. So, you know, whenever you make a movie that's kind of based off of something that's like a little hot flash on the internet, you know, a little flash in the pan, you got to either churn that out quick or don't do it at all, you know? So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I feel like that whole conversation has kind of died out already, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with that. It's Lauren Levera in a horror movie, dude. I can't complain. You know, that's where I'm sitting at with it. Mig is with us and has to go help make supper. Well, I appreciate you popping in and saying, hey, what's up, dude? Means a lot. We got Samantha Robinson hanging out with us. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome in. Marshmallow is overdue for a physical media release. That doesn't have a physical release? Oh, that's crazy, dude. Marshmallow was great. One of the most underrated movies from last year, without a doubt. And it's getting a sequel, which is really exciting. That movie needs a sequel so bad. Got a great ending, and it needs a sequel. Have I seen The Fetus with Bill Moseley? I haven't seen that either, dude. I'm really lacking on the Lauren Levera movies. I gotta catch up. Gotta watch more of those. King Olives is saying, what's a very underrated horror movie? For me, it's The Faculty. If you've watched that, I love The Faculty. Great movie. Great choice. Underrated movies. You know, at some point, I want to do a list talking about my favorite movies from this decade, as well as most underrated movies from like the 2020s. I feel like a movie that does not get enough talk, praise, love at any point. Not when it released, not now, Never. This is a movie that I thought might have grown on people, might have been talked about more. The Wrong Turn remake from like the early 2020s. I want to say that was 2021, if I'm not mistaken. I thought that movie was fucking awesome, dude. I went into that with no high expectations. I thought it was just going to be like kind of whatever. It rocked so fucking hard. I think it is easily my favorite Wrong Turn film. I think it has some of the scariest shit from modern horror. There is a sequence involving like people get, I don't even want to spoil it, but there's a really fucked up scene that is like encases this idea of a fate worse than death that is so fucking scary and messed up. Wow. Like one of the scariest things I have seen in a modern horror movie is in this Wrong Turn reimagining. And I fucking loved it. I don't know. That is a movie I keep coming back to, a movie I continue to think about. And I really just think still haunts my nightmares, man. For that one little sequence alone. I think the story kind of drags a little bit maybe in the second act, but the first and third acts of that Wrong Turn remake, reimagining, whatever, so fucking well done. Man, that movie is just a great little standalone if you haven't seen it. I don't know. I could not recommend it enough. It's brutal. The kills are fucking disgusting. And what is it? Mike P. Nelson did such a great job with that one. If you only know him from like Sweet Revenge or, you know, the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake that came out last year, I think his Wrong Turn remake is still my favorite thing from his whole catalog. He's made a lot of great stuff, don't get me wrong, but that one's still my favorite. That's still my number one from him. I still have yet to see the Wrong Turn reboot. Dude, I will never stop singing its praises. I loved it when it came out. I still love it now. And I remember at the time being like, dude, I'm going to be the only one who loves this movie. Like everybody at the time fucking hated it. And I'm like, what? This was so good. That was so good. So I loved it. I think it's awesome. And Brandon, you're talking about Wrong Turn 2 being the best. Listen, the original Wrong Turn series is great. It's a ton of fun. It is a gross out slasher series that honestly has some pretty damn good movies in it. Not all of them. A lot of those later sequels are kind of trash, but Wrong Turn 1 and 2, really fucking well done. I have a soft spot for Wrong Turn 4, if I'm being honest. I think that one's actually pretty fucking crazy too. But man, that remake, I will never shut up about it. I think it is so good. And for some reason poorly received. I don't know. I loved it. Loved it. Jake, completely off topic, but have you listened to Poppy's newest record? We talked about this recently. I listened to it a little bit in the week. I didn't get through the whole thing. It's not bad. I like it. I like it quite a bit. What was I want to look? There was a song that I really liked about it, and I don't remember the name of it. Yeah, Public Domain was really good, and Bruised Sky was. I listened to those two tracks. I don't know if I listened to too much else that was on this record, but dude, really good stuff. Poppy is pretty consistent. I think there's really only one album of hers I'm just not really crazy about. That like her first. I'll be honest, her first album isn't really. It's more like just pop music. Not really for me, but pretty much everything else she's done I think is pretty damn good. Zig was kind of mid. Zig was kind of fine. Negative Spaces was really good, and Empty Hands so far I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I still think her best album still is by far, I disagree, that is a masterpiece. That is a 10 out of 10. Like there's no skips on that whole album. It's so good. But I really like almost all of her music, dude. It's really solid stuff. Poppy's great, and if you haven't been to a Poppy concert, dude, never in my life. I've seen Slayer in concert. I've seen all the old school metal bands, really, like outside of Metallica, because Metallica is vastly overrated. I don't give a fuck. They stole everything from Dave Mustaine. Fight me. But I love all the old school metal bands and shit. The craziest pit I have ever been in my entire life was a Poppy concert. And I will swear by that until the end of my days. Poppy fans are fucking crazy. Love them so much. It's not as good as Negative Space. Enjoyed that album to death, but it's still a good album nonetheless. The title track is some seriously heavy stuff. I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow. I've been all over the place music wise. I've been listening to a lot more like alternative stuff as of late. But I'm gonna have to put on some Poppy every now and then. So you got to listen to that. Some good shit. Silent Night, Deadly Night was awesome. Yes, it was, dude. 2025 was such a weird year for slashers. Pretty much everything missed with me. But then out of nowhere, Silent Night, Deadly Night just came in clutch. And I was like, fuck yeah, that was awesome. That was a ton of fun, man. We got Santa Claus killing Nazis. I think I can say that word on YouTube, right? I hope so. We're deep into a live stream. I don't care at this point. But I mean, Santa Claus killing Nazis. Come on, that's great. That's fucking awesome. So I had a really good time with Silent Night, Deadly Night. Rowan Campbell's best performance in a movie, at least that I've seen. And Ruby Modine, holy fucking shit, put her in more stuff for the love of God. She's so good in Happy Death Day. She's so good here. Oh man, I fucking love Ruby Modine. I want to see her in a million more movies, dude. God damn. Everything I've ever seen her in, like, just knocks it out of the park. Knocks it out of the park, man. Such a good actress. But that was a great movie. Another reimagining of the concept for sure, too. Just like Wrong Turn 2021, Update, guys. The pickles are gone. Madison has eaten all of the pickles. They're digesting in her stomach. I am marrying this woman for so many reasons, but she actively makes me crack up every single day. You are the funniest person I have ever met. You are making me laugh so hard right now by just holding an empty plate of pickle juice. And I love you so much. Oh, you lapped up the pickle juice? Is that what you're saying? Don't lick your lips. Don't you lick your lips at me. You're so damn... She cracks me up, guys. If she eats pickles and she makes you laugh, put a ring on it. That's what I'll say. Anyways, you are so silly. King Olives is saying, I don't know if I'm cooking, but honestly want a Joyride reboot. Yes. The first one, and instead of the desert, let the setting be at this, snowy? Like a snowy road trip? I fuck with that. Have Jeffrey Dean Morgan cast as the trucker? Yes. Yes to King Olives. I'm in. I have no money. I have like $0 to my name right now, but yes. This is literally me giving you all my money to make that. So I love that idea. Dude, the first Joyride was recommended to me by our very own Sarah Campbell, who I don't think is with us tonight, but shout out to Sarah. She rocks. She recommended that movie to me, and I watched it. I'm like, dude, that was a crazy hidden gem from the 2000s. There's multiple 2000s horror hidden gems that didn't get enough love. That is one of them, dude. Wow, Joyride fucking rocks. It's funny. I have only seen one of the sequels, Joyride 3. It was like $2 at like a local video store we have here in Ohio. Shout out to the Exchange. I don't know if anyone from the Exchange is watching, but fucking kick-ass store around here, which is fun. They had the third movie for like $2. I picked it up, watched it. Never seen the second one. I don't know if there's any more than that, but I've seen Joyride 1 and I've seen Joyride 3, and Joyride 3 it's just okay. It's all right. But man, what a fun first movie that was. Holy shit. I would be so down for some sort of reboot of that at some point. I don't think enough people know about Joyride to do a reboot though, sadly. It's a really good movie though, and if you haven't seen it, definitely put it on. That's got to be on Tubi. That's such a weird. That's going to be one of the hidden gems you find on Tubi, because Tubi is like 80% trash, 20% hidden gems, and you're like, ooh, damn, that was good. Joyride is one of those for sure. So some great stuff there. Love Joyride. I want one in the snow. That would be awesome. Jake, did you hear about the deleted scene for the OG Nightmare on Elm Street where Nancy's sister is one of Freddy's original victims? Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, that would, make even more sense with the big revelation, that's had with Freddy's connection to her family. That would make even more sense. That's really cool. I've always Nightmare on Elm Street is such a well done movie in terms of, setting up the idea of this town being affected by an evil slasher. And, that's something that carries over into like Scream from Wes Craven, which is really cool. But man, Nightmare on Elm Street does that just so damn well. You know, the idea that here's this evil that is still like, it's generational. It affected what the generation before, and now it's affecting the new generation. And I think that's just such a well done element to both Scream and maybe even more so to A Nightmare on Elm Street, man. Nightmare on Elm Street is such a weird movie because I think if you go back and you watch that one, you're like, dude, the acting is fucking atrocious in this film, but it's still a horror masterpiece. It's still just so damn good because it's written so fucking well. Writing is excellent in that movie, and Heather Langenkamp is just so fucking badass. You can't help but root for her. You're like, oh my God, Freddy Krueger, instant icon, and this final girl is so fucking epic. Man. What were they thinking with some of those sequels not having her in there? I mean, oh my God. I would almost argue, you know, everyone's like, dude, you got to have Robert Englund as Freddy. I'm like, man, I hardly even care for the Nightmare on Elm Street films that don't feature Heather Langenkamp in some capacity. Honestly, I think all the good movies in this series are 1, 3, and New Nightmare, which is, I don't know, maybe a hot take of mine, but man, those are my Nightmare films right there. Those are the most solid movies, I think, in the whole franchise, without a doubt. You got to have Heather Langenkamp in there. Come on now. She's so iconic. Never been in a mosh pit, says the Jester, but I remember seeing Slipknot and Gojira and Behemoth back in 2019. I have seen all of those bands too. That's so cool. I don't know if I've seen Slipknot, but I've definitely seen Gojira and Behemoth, which is too funny. Seen them with your grandpa. I will never forget my grandpa literally crapping your grandma. Wait, I read that wrong. Sorry. With my grandma, I will never forget my grandma literally crapping herself during Behemoth's concert. That's crazy. That's a band to shit your pants to, though, if I've ever heard of one. Come on now. You know what I'll say is that some people are just fucking dumb in a mosh pit. Is what, like, for me, like, moshing is like, you should just be bouncing off of each other and like simulating fighting. You know, not actually fighting. That's not why you should do it. And some people will be fucking slinging their hands like this and punching people in the face. And it's like, no, come on. We're here to listen, metal fans are all a bunch of fucking dorks, okay? And I can say that because I'm one of them. And look at me. I am very clearly a fucking dork. I got the glasses. I got the whiny voice. Look at this haircut. Does it look like I'm not a dork? You're fucking blind otherwise. We all, us metal fans, we're a bunch of dorks, and we want to pretend like we're violent, but we're not. And that's why metal music is so attractive to dorks, is because we're cosplaying as violent people. So you put your hands up, you bounce off of each other. If you start flinging your fucking hands like this, you're just a dick. Straight up. If you're dancing in a way that can harm other people around you, that's just called being a dick. Put your hands up like this and bounce off of each other. That's when you get in the mosh pit, when people know what the fuck they're doing. If people are doing this shit, you stay the fuck away from that pit. That's my advice, Jester. That's my advice. Don't get punched in the face at the concert. That's no fun. Beer Belly Angler saying, I was behind, but I'm glad you watched Dead Silence. I suggested it for you a while back. I did watch it rather recently. I want to say it was a year or two ago. And man, it's a great watch. It's a really good watch. And I can't believe it's funny because I had seen the first like 15 minutes of Dead Silence a long time ago. Like one of my big introductions to horror was my cousin would show me horror movies or YouTube videos. That's kind of how I was in the know with like cool shit that the kids were doing, you know, kind of energy. I was like, oh, my older cousin would babysit us and show us either a crazy horror movie or like a weird new YouTube video, whatever. Dead Silence, I remember watching the first 15 minutes of, and then I got really scared and ran away. So I'll never forget the beginning of that movie, but then I finally finished it way later on in life as an adult. It's a really good movie. Oh man, I can't believe that one didn't get a lot of love when it came out. It's a shame. If there's a reimagining of Wes Craven's Shocker, what direction would you want it to go? Shocker's a weird one, man. That's another one that I feel like most people don't really know too much about. But it's a concept that I feel like has been explored in other movies, so I feel like you could bring that back somehow, some way. Guy gets electrocuted in the electric chair. Words are hard. And then he comes back as a ghost and fucks people up, fucks up the people that put him there in the first place. So it's very similar to Oh my God, did that movie come out first? I just thought about that. It's very similar to like Exorcist 3 in a way. Did Exorcist 3 come out first? Oh shit, no, that came out the year after? Whoa, that's insane. Oh, I gotta watch those movies back to back. Very similar films. I never even thought about that until just now. Ooh, Exorcist 3 is so good. But anyways, shocker, I mean, you could still kind of find a way to do that, I feel like, today. The death penalty is still a very controversial topic that you could explore with that movie. So I think you could bring that back and do it. There's got to be some fans. It's a Wes Craven movie at the end of the day. so someone knows about it. Someone would see that movie, right? I mean, listen, if Faces of Death can get a legacy sequel, so can fucking Shocker, man. Faces of Death. Who ever would have thought Faces of fucking Death would have gotten a new movie nowadays? That is such a of its time kind of thing. Like, to do something new with that is insane. But hey, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It's fun for what it was. You should have seen it too, Jake. She was in the bathroom cleaning up her own shit for 20 minutes. Still laugh my ass off about it to this day. I miss her, man. Love me some Behemoth, though. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. That's terrible. I mean, at least you have good memories, right? That's so funny. Man, my grandmother was the only grandparent in my life that even remotely cared about me. From my mom's side, they didn't even know we existed kind of energy. They did not care. And my grandfather on my dad's side was a very terrible drunk and did not say some great things all the time. Very, very negative, said a lot of nasty things all the time. Just was not a very good dude. But my Nana, she was lovely. And one of my favorite memories that I have is, she had cancer and she was going down, and I was the last person to make her laugh. She wore wigs like towards the end, and I remember as a 9-year-old, I put on her wig and pretended to be like an old lady and walked around the room like with a walker, and I remember making her laugh literally days before, So that's a really precious memory of mine. I don't know if I've ever shared that publicly, but it's just a little slice into the personal life. That still something I think about all these years later. But you gotta hold on to those good memories, man. You gotta hold on to those because great people have come and go. Sadly, that's just how all this works. Aren't they remaking The People Under the Stairs? They've been in limbo for that for forever. And, Jordan Peele is in such something's going on with Monkey Paw Productions. I don't know what, but something. Monkey Paw recently fired like a ton of people. They have kind of gone down to a really small size. I don't know. I don't know why. They had all these movies that like Jordan Peele was going to produce and now aren't happening. And I think sadly one of those is The People Under the Stairs. I don't know what happened with Monkey Paw, man. They were putting out some really good movies, and then out of nowhere, like they just kind of stopped. I mean, however you feel about him from last year, like it didn't necessarily hit with audiences, and I don't remember it being a flop, but I don't remember it making a ton of money either. I mean, I still really appreciate that movie for what it was, a football horror movie. That feels really special, man. Him, I don't think was great, but I think it was in a way underrated because I think it was such a unique concept, and anyone exploring or tackling that kind of concept and making it horror, that's no easy feat. That's no easy task. So you got to respect the ambition there with him. I had a lot of respect for that movie, even though I really wasn't crazy about it. That is a movie though that I think years down the line people are going to look back on and be like, that wasn't that bad. That's gonna have its day. Maybe become a cult classic at some point. But point being, Monkey Paw, I don't know what's up with them right now. They just, again, reduced a ton of their staff. They've delayed Jordan Peele's upcoming movie like indefinitely. Who knows when that thing's coming out? Hopefully they get moving on it. But I think Jordan Peele's just slowing down. I think that might just be part of it. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with slowing down. I mean, he's made 3 fucking excellent movies. He's produced some pretty solid shit too. So we'll see. We'll see what else comes from Monkey Paw, but I think they might just be slowing down, and hey, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. They got a pretty damn good body of work too. Some good TV shows they've been a part of. Jordan Peele's whole era of horror was really awesome, and I really hope he continues to make good horror flicks. I just, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on there. I would love to see whatever his fourth movie is, though, and I'd love to see, you know, his people under the stairs too. What else is going on? Danny is saying, I watched him last week for the first time. I didn't like it, but I also didn't hate it. It was very in the middle for me. Yeah, I'm like, I walked away from that movie pretty disappointed. It's I think the tough part about it is that it follows the format of a pretty typical like art house horror movie. And I think that's kind of what I didn't love about it. It feels so boxed in, yet it is doing something so ambitious at the same time. So when it does strive to do something weird and different, it's on, it kicks ass. But when it's, you know, kind of feeling a little more formulaic, that's where I feel like it loses something for me. Marlon Wayans, great performance in that movie though. I really think that he was a major standout. He made that movie really watchable. But man, lots of generic bullshit going on, especially in that third act, dude. That really weighed it down for me. King Olive is saying, would you put Indy's acting at the same level as Naomi's acting from Smile 2? Yes, 100%. 100%. Indy Navarrete in Obsession, that is one of my favorite performances in a horror film this decade. And I can confidently say that after only having seen the film once. I'm definitely seeing it again tomorrow because I need to. I need to see that movie again. My God. Man, I don't know. Guys, just go see it. I've said everything I can say about it. Go into it blind as you can at least. Watch that damn movie. Listen, Evan from Rockland Graves called into the show earlier. If you're just joining us, Evan from Rockland Graves actually called us earlier and talked a little bit about how much he loved that movie. Guys, it's so good. It's so good. It's one of my all-time favorite horror movies already. It's so fucking scary. It's so genius. It's so thought out. Fuck, it's good. Give it a watch. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm tired and I need a nap. I need a little bit of a nap. But it's been really fun talking horror with y'all. We will be live again tomorrow, and we will be playing a game, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a bracket stream talking about what's the best original horror movie in the 2020s. Channel members and Patreon supporters have thrown out what their suggestions are, and we're going to whittle it down to one. A singular movie, what's the best one? And it'll be movies that have already been out for a long time. So no Obsession, no Backrooms, nothing new that only critics or reviewers have seen. So movies from the 2020s, what's been the best one so far? Join us tomorrow. Me and the Night Watch Zone, we're going to be finally talking about this, whittling down that bracket to one. And you guys will ultimately be having the last say on what moves forward. So stop on by tomorrow, 7 o'clock Eastern time. It's going to be a lot of fun. So much love to you all. Thank you so much for being with us. We're going to have a really fun time tomorrow. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Watch the Dexter videos.